One. Hey everybody, welcome to bonus stuff. We just got done reviewing Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul from Netflix. So go check that out. But we also watched another thing on Netflix, and that was the first episode of the anime called Sakamoto Days. So a little quick rundown. It's about a retired hitman who fell in love with a woman and now is running the convenience store where she worked at. I don't know. Maybe she owned it, or maybe her parents owned it and they took it over. I don't know.
He killed
But
them.
they,
He probably killed. Oh, good.
but they're living there and they have a little girl, and they're just living the life. But then a guy from his past comes back, and he was with him in the old Hitman days, and he comes back because he believes he's still the greatest hitman ever, and he wants to get him out of retirement because he doesn't believe that he could just be living this normal life. And he visits him, and some funny stuff occurs, and that's pretty much the first episode. There is like an organization of hitmen that he goes, because his mission was to kill the. Is his name Sakamoto?
Yeah.
Yeah, so his mission was to go kill Sakamoto, but when he doesn't, because he's kind of charmed by Sakamoto's life and everything, um, he believes that he can live the good life. So he goes back, and the Hitman organization isn't too happy with him. So there's an action scene that we'll talk about. So that's kind of the basic rundown, so we can get into some spoilers. So Sakamoto Days. This anime, are you raising your hand? Okay.
I forgot to watch this.
Oh no!
I didn't realize we were watching this. It's
Okay.
in my watch list. I was like, oh, that looks good. And then I was like, I wonder why. This seems familiar.
Well, you might want to cover your ears for the next part.
That's fine.
So Sakamoto Days, what I thought, my first impressions of this anime was it's not it's funny. I really like that it's funny. It's not great, like the animation's not great, and it's like some of the writing's wonky, but it made me laugh and it was entertaining. So I probably would continue it just from the first episode, and hopefully it just stays on the funny level, because it needs the funny to make me overlook like the animation and stuff. But Jared, what did you think of Sakamoto Days?
I enjoyed it. I was happy to see. Um, the opening was done by, I think the artist's name is Vondi, which they did like Ranking of Kings, the opening for season 2 of that, and then a My Hero opening. They're just really good, so I was happy to see that. I thought it was funny. I really liked the opening scene when he was like skinny. He wasn't a fat man. It looked really nice. I did see today that there was a lot of controversy with this because the Japanese people were really upset when they first saw this, like the
Really?
first trailers and stuff, because the animation was bad.
Yeah.
Because the manga is really like people love the manga and they were just very upset. I didn't think it was too bad. I thought it was funny. I liked Sakamoto.
Did you watch it in sub or dubbed?
Dubbed.
Okay, because I get a feeling that the dub isn't too faithful to the sub, but I don't know. That's just me.
But it was Matthew Mercer doing the voice, so I'm sure Michael was happy.
Gotta be.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of like in the same vein as like, not as good, but like the same kind of feel as like Spy Family, because it's kind of lighthearted, but they're still like assassins.
Yeah.
There could be like a cool crossover if they ever wanted to, but I enjoyed it. Definitely watch more.
Cool.
Yeah,
Michael?
I'd agree with basically both your roundups. I think it was good. It wasn't a strong, like if it was an episode trying to get me into a show, it didn't do that. But I like the premises enough to make me like, oh yeah, I'll watch more of this, and it was enjoyable enough. Like you guys, it was funny. I didn't mind the animation. I didn't really like it didn't like blow me away, but I did like I will say the first intro animation, like Jared was saying, where he's skinny and walking with the sword, sparks and everything, and do all that. I thought that was very cool. It's very like Final Fantasy-ish or something. But the rest of it, yeah, just super funny. I'd actually kind of forgotten. I literally just watched this a bit ago, but the fight scene actually kind of fell out of my mind already in the warehouse where they go after the guy, because I like how he's undercover and he's like, "You found him?" He's like, his gas station's called Sakamoto's. So I don't think it'd be that hard to find the guy's place, but
Common name in Japan.
That's true.
But I liked how he like goes back and he's gonna kill him, whatever. But of course he's still kick butt even though he's chubby. And the guy ends up just waking up and he has all like good food and everything. Although
Dang.
in like the poster of it, I thought the blonde kid was his son. And so when the show started, I was like, oh no, that's not. He was just his old partner or whatever. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Thought it was funny. I like the one of the last, because the main kid is that I don't remember what his name was, but the blonde kid that goes after him is clairvoyant was his tagline, because he could read people's minds. And so that kid, he's like, "What'd you do before this?" And he's like,
Oh,
he looks at Sakamoto's in his head. He's like, "You tell him and you die." I thought that was funny. So it had good humor to it, but
clean society.
Just clean for society. But had a lot of good humor. Not an extremely strong opening, but yeah, like Jared said, I'll definitely watch more, especially with how fast it was dubbed, like day and date with it.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I didn't watch it till today, so that's cool.
And they're releasing it looks like week by week.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was going to be dumped, but
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I did too.
I'm surprised they didn't do 2 episodes, because usually Netflix with anime, I feel like, does like the weekly episodes, but usually it's like 2 to start off with. But
And it's a part 1 and part 2,
okay,
because there's like 22 episodes for the season, but there's going to be a part 1 and part 2. I liked you talked about the clairvoyant when he's in there, and the guy's like, "Oh no, I forgot he can read minds." And I'm like, "He's got clairvoyant."
He's like, "Tell me where he is, and I'll let you go." I'm not gonna let him go. He's like, "Oh crap."
Dude was catching bullets with like chopsticks. I was like, "Oh my god!" I thought he was like hitting them with a sword, like a knife or something, but he was just catching them. I was like, "Damn."
Dude, and his wife must be a really good cook, because
it shows apparently.
They animated his chin fat,
his jowls.
I did like when he first met her, and he was like, "Ah!" He's like screaming.
Yeah. Glasses break, got all dramatic. But
yeah. So check it out. Tell us what you thought, and if you will be continuing. So let's go to this little
ladder man
printout thing. So I just wanted to show this real fast.
I completely forgot to say 28 years later on our looking forward to.
Michael, Saw 11.
Oh boy.
Let's get our tickets now.
You count 2? That's a thing?
Yeah. For that.
What?
That's crazy. So next week's Wolfman, our Captain America, comes out in February. It's a little light in the early months, guys, so we'll be doing some House 6. We got Sinners, which is the Michael B. Jordan movie.
Oh, yeah.
And Snow White.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
Alto Nights is a gangster movie with De Niro. The Minecraft movie, Mickey 17, which I think everyone is interested from what I've heard. The Accountant 2, crazy. The Accountant got
my mother is a massive fan of this movie. Like
the first one?
Yes. I'm just like, is it because you are an accountant? She's like, that's part of it. Yeah.
There's some people I don't remember that were actually in that first movie.
There's a lot of people in that movie.
Yeah, I was like surprised.
John Bernthal, John Lithgow, Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, I actually saw that one in theater. I think me and Jared went one time.
That's good.
Thunderbolts.
A movie you can't tell if it's bad or good.
I would expect from that movie.
It's it's like, oh, it could be like old Marvel, but it looks like new Marvel, but it stars all the new Marvel guys.
Such bad font too. Like, look at that. So bad.
And there's no like Thunderbolts from the actual comics in it. It's all like the Dark Avengers. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. I'm excited, I guess. You guys all poo-pooed on the last one, but
Yeah.
I want to see
This
it.
is the last one, guys. The last
The last-
ever.
The
last one.
final reckon. There's no more reckonings after this.
I just realized that they're releasing The Accountant 2 right after tax season ends.
Oh,
Yeah.
Clever.
They should have
Clever
put it on
studio.
the 17th, but
Well, that's when they're all like exhausted and they don't want to go. They don't want to go nowhere.
This is their end of work year celebration.
Karate Kid Legends is interesting.
Looks decent.
Mm-hmm. The Ballerina, which is the spinoff of John Wick.
I'm actually down for this one.
Elio doesn't look great. It's a Pixar movie about a kid that goes to space.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything.
Live action, How to Train Your
Yeah, you heard that
Dragons.
nonsense.
Yeah, that's- talk about a waste of opportunity. Yeah,
28
pissed me
years
off.
later, everyone loved that trailer.
Looks good.
that's a good trailer. No
It
matter
was-
how the movie goes, that trailer's amazing.
Dude,
It
they're
was like-
opening with those Teletubbies, man. The kids are like watching my tubs.
It was a
It
good
just goes
trailer,
off.
and then I found out that Call of Duty actually did that poem in one of their trailers, and I was going to take it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it because it's Rudyard Kipling's poem. It's about infantry people, so yeah, I would assume they did it.
I thought if they were special and they like found it.
Jocko, like, what's his name? Read it on his podcast too. Like everybody loves that poem. Get out of here, Joseph.
But this is the American recording of the poem, so.
There you go.
But the COD did it first, so I got to give it to COD, I guess. Brad Pitt in F1. This is supposed to be like the most expensive movie ever made.
Jeez.
I thought that said.
Dang.
I thought that said fee. I was like, is this like a Jack the Giant Killer thing? B5 faux fum.
Brad Pitt
So,
is the
That would be a
giant.
good string of movies. You can make like a whole like
A trilogy of
It's like those. Oh man, it just reminds me of like Now You See Me. Like, but they said Now
Oh.
You See Me 2. It's like perfect title for a sequel here. Now you don't, and
Yeah.
you wasted it.
that was a waste.
yeah, it's
Mathregan 2, Joseph.
My 3 against 2, so.
what the heck?
2.0.
You saw the first one, right, Jared?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good. Jurassic Rebirth. So Jurassic World Rebirth.
Oh boy.
Flip the coin on that one.
Yeah.
Gareth Edwards. And then the Superman one, which I think is the big one of the year.
That's coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I assumed
That's
it was
coming out.
much later.
No.
I'm okay. I'm kind of excited for this one, but I'll explain when I get to my watch list.
I'm very
I-
excited for that one.
Don't think it's going to be great, but I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah.
I know what you did last summer.
Prove it.
So this is like the third one or something like that. So
I've never watched that
Yeah,
series.
neither.
Smurfs is back with just
Oh,
Smurfs.
God.
Thank God.
Are you why?
Are you
That's-
smurfing kidding me here?
Fantastic Four. I'm looking for First Flight.
I didn't
I'm
realize
looking
that was
forward
coming out
to-
this year.
Yeah, we got 3 Marvels.
Naked Gun.
The Naked Gun with
Yeah.
Liam Neeson.
Oh,
It could be good. He's good at comedy. But I don't know how the writing's gonna. It's gonna be hard to do
I don't know. I don't know if they can write
PC
any of those.
writing. Yeah.
Dang, Alex is going to be a happy boy August 1st.
The Bad Guys
Yeah.
too.
The
I still haven't
Bad
seen the
Guy.
Bad
It's
Guys
so-
one.
guys,
I know, I still haven't.
Watch that movie, guys. It's so good.
Nobody was weird.
Yeah, it wasn't like
fun, though.
great.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I could see the second one being better, maybe. The Conjuring's still going. Last rites though. Saw 11.
Heck yeah,
God.
dude.
Oh my.
September.
September.
Tron Ares.
Who
Is anyone
knows?
hopeful for that?
I
I don't-
have hope.
I have like a
little
smidgen
hope.
of hope.
Yeah, I want to hope. Jared.
Yeah.
The thing
I
is,
wanna hope.
the thing is that it I
There's a
can't
lot
get
going
there's
against
a
it.
lot There's a lot riding on this. It's like,
Yeah.
please don't mess this up. Please.
I'll need
The
a trailer
remake-
first for sure.
The remake of The Running Man with the guy from Top Gun Maverick. What's his name?
Glenn Powell?
Glenn Powell, yeah. And then Avatar, guys.
Yay!
Oh my god, that's this
Fire in
year.
there.
I'm
The
excited.
very end
You
of the
know,
year.
And then we have to
could
watch
probably-
it near Christmas. It's
yeah.
we could probably get another 27,000 views out of
Yes.
this one. So
We better.
At least it didn't take
Oh,
13
man.
years or whatever.
True.
That's true.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. You can't see it in the writing, so I don't know what takes them so long.
and it's they're fire. That's
Actually,
the best
that's
element.
Dope. No joke.
Let's go. Let's go back. What are they gonna do?
Little-
Ride fire
little
whales?
Fire
for an
Kingdom?
hour? Okay, let's
Fire
do
whales.
a little game. Fire whales. Let's do a little game. Let me write our names down.
Oh, I'm dying.
you want to play a game?
Want
Which
to play a game 11 times?
so out of all
Yes,
these
Michael, it's fun.
out of all these movies, which one do you think makes the most money?
Oh, interesting.
So I think Smurfs is probably
I
top
was about to say
three.
Smurfs is one of those.
Smurfs.
They
Yeah,
always
I-
make a lot of
They
money.
always make
All the
money.
I
chili-
think
Those-
Dragon's gonna make a lot of money.
I don't know, man.
Because
Oh,
people love kids
Jurassic
love that.
World
They
makes a
do,
lot of
but-
money.
Yeah,
That's
well,
true,
if we're
that's true.
doing like the world box office, it will international.
I'd hope for Superman.
Let's just do U.S. box office, Jared.
Those make
You
a lot of
still-
money.
Superman, I can see making a
Oh,
lot.
what are we talking about? Avatar.
True,
Avatar's number one.
it's
Crap.
hard.
You can't. Those.
Don't say
He
such
has.
things, Michael.
He has some deal with the devil. Whatever movie he makes goes.
We're gonna
number
see it
one.
in this one. The fire Navis are just hell.
I have no clue if anyone's excited for this movie because no
I
one ever
am.
says. Well, Michael's excited, and he also thinks it's the most box office this
Did-
year.
Oh,
Did
easy.
you like the second one? Did you watch it
I
with
actually
us?
really like the second one. Yeah,
Yeah, he just didn't review it with us.
Yeah.
Hmm.
the first one. When I rewatched the first one, I was like, okay, this movie's just like, it's not as good as I wished it still was.
Dude, I hated
But it's still
the second
visually
one.
awesome. You hated the second one?
I hated the second
Yeah.
one, man. You get a little bit of interesting stuff, and then you gotta watch whales for an hour.
I will
And then
say
there's
I
a
liked
fight.
it more than the first one.
Yeah.
First one,
I
is
agree.
god-awful.
I agree with that. Yes. Okay, I think a sleeper hit, because if it gets enough traction and if it's good enough, is going to be either 28 Years Later or Ballerina. I think that has.
I was
potential
gonna
to
say
make some money.
28 might have a lot because this trailer really hyped people up.
Yeah, and it already has like a pretty good following because the other two movies are really good. Okay, 28 Weeks Later is not as good, but it's still decent. Man, I don't know that.
They better start showing trailers for fee because if that's the most expensive movie, they're gonna need to pay.
There's one. I've seen one for it.
I'd also say Minecraft movie's probably gonna be up there easily.
Oh,
You think
my
so?
God, you're right.
Kids
A
love
lot of kids are gonna go to
Minecraft.
Minecraft, man. Jack
It's the
Black,
highest selling
kids,
game.
Minecraft, yeah. People are going bananas for that. Just out of
Dude, kids are
curiosity
gonna
for like adults.
kids are gonna love this year, man. They got
Yeah.
Minecraft, they got dragons.
I think it's the three-way split between Smurfs, Jurassic World, and Minecraft.
Okay.
Like, and maybe Avatar. Maybe Avatar.
No, Avatar, for sure,
wins,
man.
For sure. That's,
What
telling
do
you,
you
the man has made a deal.
What do you think about Superman? What do you think that's gonna make? Because people
It'll make
love
a bunch. I think people are excited because of the trailer and because it's James Gunn.
Yeah. It's been a
Uh,
while since we've had a Superman movie.
I think it'll make pretty good
Yeah,
money.
I think so.
I don't know. Does it make Marvel money? That's the question.
Marvel.
Yeah, like old school
Doesn't make
Marvel.
Marvel money.
Oh. Wait, where's Captain America on the, oh, there it is.
February
February
14th.
1.
That's.
Does anyone
I
think
don't
it's
think
going to do
that's-
well? I don't think anyone.
I don't think that's gonna do well.
There's no way they can. There's just like they've sunk way too much money into that movie. And
How bad do you think it will bomb? Let's do that little game. How bad? What do you think the numbers are gonna be?
What's the biggest bomb on
The
this
biggest
list?
bomb on this list.
ooh.
Probably that. Just 'cause
Well,
it
yeah,
costs so
by
much money.
default because it costs so much. That's true, Jared. So what
Yeah.
else?
Snow White.
Maybe Snow White.
I don't know.
Snow
Those
White.
always
Yeah, I
do
feel like Snow
decent.
White could do well.
Lion King didn't do well, or the
Not
second one.
Mufasa, but the first one did.
Yeah,
True.
I think people are starting to get tired of it.
I think it's
That-
because Mufasa wasn't based on an old movie. It was just
Yeah.
based on this.
I think Elio might not do too well.
If
Yeah.
I
the
didn't even know it
last,
existed, so
I
yeah,
haven't even seen a trailer for it.
oh man.
Pixar's
think-
been taking a dip, so I don't. Well,
F1 could be a big
Yeah,
bomb
that could easily.
yeah.
because it's the most expensive movie or whatever they're
I
saying.
feel like it's hard to get people to go to like a car movie
Yeah,
Unless you're
unless you're
Ford versus
dads.
Ferrari.
Oh yeah. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Did that do well in theaters? I don't know.
Yeah. Did pretty well.
Tron, scary. That could probably lose
Yeah.
money because I don't think Legacy even did that well.
There's
but
no
Legacy was a bomb, but
Yeah.
it's still like what do you call
There's
it?
no trailer, right? For
Yeah.
Tron.
Oh,
We need to
Not
see
yet.
one. We
Yeah.
need to
there's
see
like
there
a
needs to be a trailer
Comic
for
Con
that.
trailer,
Just
but
like production stills and stuff.
okay, so that's gonna do it.
Are you hopeful for Fantastic Four?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am.
Definitely.
I think so. I mean, I'm
People
not
love Pedro Pascal.
I don't think that's great casting. I think he's better in like a soldier kind of role, but all the other casting is great.
But I say the guy that got to play Ben was pretty much perfect. I think it's a great
Cousin.
cast. Hey, cousin.
Cousin, he's gonna call everyone cousin.
Even though he's already in the MCU, so
All right, since we're talking about the Fantastic Four, let's go to the news real fast.
News.
And one of the news was Sue Storm pretty much triggered a lot of people because a lot of people, I guess, who have never read a comic book didn't know Sue Storm was hot. So they were a little angry when Rivals added her to the roster along with Mr. Fantastic. They're also a little myth that Concord didn't do well when it was a hero shooter, but Rivals is doing well. But you can see the difference in quality for sure in those two games. Rivals, I did try. I told Michael about it. I just don't. It wasn't for me. It just it has no weight. Like say what you want about COD. COD's up and down, but it feels like there's weight to the guns and stuff like that. Marvel Rivals just like you're shooting colors at people and you got to like rely on the stats to see what's happening.
You're shooting
there's
the
no-
bar, not the character.
Yeah.
there's no impact, no nothing like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But people are loving it. It's selling like crazy. It's the number one hero shooter out. I think Overwatch 2 is not doing good at all compared to it. So that's the big one on the block now. So Sony is working on some smell-o-vision. So you can smell your
I don't
favorite
wanna
game
smell
moments.
games.
You don't want to smell the clickers right up to your
No,
face?
I'm good.
Smells like a nice shiitake or something. You're like, oh.
I wouldn't want to smell Joel, that's for sure.
Wow. So Smell-O-Vision, they tried it with the movies back in like the 50s, and so they're trying it again. The news we've been dreading.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Rumor is Disney Plus is working, or Disney's working on a Knights of the Old Republic series for Disney Plus.
Oh,
Could
boy.
this?
Oh, it's a show?
Yeah.
God, dude.
I like the amount of like just like despair in Jared's voice. It's
Yeah.
it's like the head turn like no.
I feel that I did not want them to touch this, but they are gonna touch it a lot. And
In inappropriate places.
we're probably gonna have to watch it, so get ready. Holes is gonna have a. Speaking of Disney Plus, they're making a gender swap version of Holes because girls at the labor camp makes. And that could also be a little because the warden's a woman, but I guess you would turn him into a man, and
Can't
that could
do
be a little
that. You can't do
problematic.
It would freak out.
Would Mr. Sir be a man or a woman?
I know. What do we call her, Mrs.
Grandma, I'm tired of digging
Mrs.
holes.
Man.
That's too damn bad.
Man, what a good movie.
Great movie, and Disney wants to remake it.
Great soundtrack too.
Okay,
Oh,
so we all remember
Nice pull.
Nice Pull, thank you, from Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine. So the guy that directed It Ends With Us, if you remember that movie from last year, it starred Blake Lively, who's married to Ryan Reynolds, and they're currently under a lawsuit. I don't remember who brought the lawsuit against who. I think it's her. She brought it against the director. So the director of that movie said, "Hey, Nice Pool is it's based on me, and they're making fun of me, and that's bullying. So feel sorry for me." I don't know what's going on with that story with Blake Lively and this Justin Baldini guy. It's just weird. It's rich people yelling at each other. I don't.
Brr.
All right. Oh, Oopsie Soft strikes
Yeah.
again. So Assassin's Creed was about to come out in like February, right?
Yep.
And then they moved it back to what is it, March 20th? Well, March 20th happens to be not a great day in Japan because that's the anniversary of one of the worst domestic terrorism attacks on Japan, where a death cult released poisonous gas into the
Jeez.
subway. Yeah.
That's why you can't find public trash cans in Japan. Because they did that.
So, yeah, so Ubisoft oopsed again and put the release date
They
on
do it
that
on
date.
purpose. They're at this
No.
point.
Do you think?
Yes.
Would they be that?
Every
like-
week
They're
is an oops.
They're just trying to get so many eyes on it. Like, hey, look at the game, look at the game, look at the game. I don't know.
When
man.
can we release it that would make people even
What's-
angrier?
What's funny though is that Yosuke is no longer part of the promotional stuff too. If you like watch their
Oh, really?
It's-
Oh, it's just her.
it's
yeah.
just her. I'm just like,
so yeah, maybe the delay has to do with kind of rewriting it. But yeah, man, Ubisoft.
not
It's
looking
just-
great for that company.
Yeah, they're gonna be bought out.
Yeah.
I guess they expect this to kind of sell because they always kind of sell, but we'll see. And then a little news that came up right before we started recording. So as we talked about right before we started recording, Better Man flopped. So that was the Robbie Williams movie, and it made about 1.1 million. It was so low that we didn't even see it on our box office videos that we usually do every week. It wasn't even on there, so we didn't even see it on there.
It only made $1 million.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my!
was pretty sad.
Oh my lord.
I had to have some money behind it because it's a CG man the whole time. Switch 2 reveal will probably come out before you guys even see this video. So you can tell us what it looks like and laugh at us for not knowing. But any guesses on what the Switch 2 will do from what you guys heard?
I've seen some weird videos of like mock-up Joy-Con and
Yeah.
stuff. They look
Yeah.
weird. I'm very interested, but it's about time. We need to see this thing.
Yeah,
We
it's
need
been
to
way
see
too
it.
long.
I'm ready.
And then other delays, Oscar.
It cost $110 million to make Better Man.
Oh, wow. Whose idea was that? Well, let's get this guy who's not well known except for in England, and let's make him a
Well,
money.
he's like the number one singer in England. Like, but like nobody knows who he is over here.
No,
Yes.
So
I've heard
weird.
the name. I remember the name from like the 90s. and
I've
then
seen him. I've seen him on like the Graham Norton show, and he's
Yeah.
funny. But I am like, who is this person? Like, I don't know why all these people like. Why is he? Who are you? Because he's like next to like I don't know. He's just like next to people. I'm just like, I know who these people are. I have no clue who you are.
I think he started in a boy band, right?
Yeah.
So, oh well.
Is this like kind of about him, but they made
Yeah.
him a monkey for some reason? Why did
It's
they
a-
just do it?
It's a biopic, but he's a monkey in it.
They deserve to. Know. That was stupid.
Well, who's gonna go see a biopic of this guy? So maybe they're like, "Hey, we gotta spice it up a little." put some fur on his face.
Make him an animal.
All right. And then the Oscar noms announcement has been delayed to the 23rd because of the LA fires.
fires.
So, yeah. So we'll learn about them pretty soon, but that is all for the news.
Did you see that, Jerry?
That like Steven Spielberg looked to the camera.
But it was like perfectly circled with like whatever highlight. Thomas, look up to your left again.
Yeah, there's
Like
circles.
perfectly circled.
It was so precious.
I was just like, I saw Jared's expression. Like, you saw that too.
Jared,
Good.
you saw a new anime for this year. Did you want to talk about it?
Oh yeah, we can.
Okay.
I started and finished Delicious in Dungeon, which it came out last
I
year.
love that show.
I finally got around to it. It was really good. I just love how like they'll talk about like the kind of the politics of like the elves and the orcs, and then just like splice in, hey, need the dough. Stop, focus on the dough and need it. But it was really good. All the characters are good. I went through it in one day. I couldn't stop
It's
watching
an
it.
easy show to binge.
And
Dang.
I can't wait for the second season because left off on a cliffhanger. So
Yeah, it's one of those that kind of has the like, oh, we're just funny, happy, go lucky. Like, oh, it's gonna get dark for a moment. You're like, okay. But I feel like
So,
I was
go
just
ahead.
gonna say like the main. I don't think there have been like a collection of that many endearing like main characters in anything ever.
yeah,
Like all of them, I'm like, you're all like, you each have your wonderful little points, and I love all of you so much. And the girl's voice actress is so good. She's
Yeah.
so freaking good.
I love. So they have like a Hobbit like character in it, and they're at one point they're like, "How old are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm like 30." And they're like, "30?"
What?
Because it looks like he's like 15. And then at one part, they kind of get a teammate, and they don't really know much about him because they just like start cooking with them, and they're at the campfire, and he wants to get to know him because they don't know where he came from, and so he's like, the Hobbit guy's like, "My name is Chilchuck. I'm 30 years old. I have a wife and kids." And they're like, "Wife and kids? What the?"
What you talking about? So good.
Just the humor is so good. It gets serious. There's serious parts, and it has a lot of heart. The animation's great. It's Trigger, so the animation gets really good. So,
is it an
So good.
isekai?
no, no,
Just straight
it's-
fantasy?
yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I made a very bad mistake. So when I found out Sakamoto Days was just one episode, I went looking for another anime that we could try. And so I Googled Netflix, and I was like, new Netflix series. So it gave me Sakamoto Days, and then it gave me this other one. So I checked it out, and it was a bad mistake because this one it started off with like a vampire. And okay, it's a vampire kind of thing, and it turned into like this boy love grooming anime, and I was like, oh my goodness.
And you
It's called
didn't
like
recommend it?
no. It was like Bam 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 Vampire is what
I
it's
saw the cover
called.
for that today. I didn't
Did
watch it.
you? So it's like this. I'll tell you about it. It's this vampire. He's working at a bathhouse, and the reason he's there is because this kid works there. He's like 15, I think, and he's
Already off to a bad start.
yeah. So this kid saved this vampire a couple of years ago because he was walking in the sun, and
Even worse, he was younger when they met.
Yes, and he was like burning up, and the kid's like, "Hey, come to our bathhouse. You can hide out in there. It's nice and cool." So he goes in there, and the dad kind of like hires him. So he's like cleaning the bathhouse, and he says he's staying there because this kid is making him very lusty, as they show. And it turns out that he is waiting for this kid to turn 18 years old because that is when the blood tastes best.
Oh my god!
Is when you get an 18-year-old virgin boy.
Nope.
And then
Nope.
and then the one thing standing in his way is the kid meets this girl on his first day of high school, and he's like in love with her, and this is making the vampire concerned because he's all worried about his his virginity. So he's got to go and he's got to stop the love between the two. So that was
Why did you keep watching?
Kind of sounds hilarious. I'm gonna be honest.
That was
Yeah,
one episode, right?
that was the first episode. Why?
Oh, okay. I was just like, Joseph, why?
That was the whole
After
first
22 episodes, I was hooked.
Yeah, so thanks Netflix. Thanks Netflix and Google for recommending that to me. So what else did you guys get up to this time? Who wants to go? Michael, you want to go first?
Talking about our watch
Sure.
list or just anime?
Yeah.
I don't think I wrote anything down because I didn't do much. Because I've been, as you might from last podcast, we were all like, you guys were getting out of being sick, and I was starting. So I just like had no brain power and just had Modern Family on for 3 seasons. I watched 3 whole seasons this week.
Dang.
Yes, Thomas.
I'm still under the weather, so I'm still with you. Right
Yeah,
here.
me too. I still
Right
a
here.
little bit.
But I
I'm
did
fantastic.
watch. Jared's just jolly,
Jared's
happy,
fantastic.
and going.
I feel fantastic. Hey, 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 hey.
But I did watch Inside Out 2 finally. That is one movie that I
Oh,
watched. Very, very much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I feel like did you guys say you liked the animation more in this one? Or
Yeah, Jonah did.
I felt
Yeah.
I felt like the animation was very impressive. I liked the introduction to the new characters and the one that kept getting pushed away for assumingly the trilogy at some point. But the old lady, she's like, nostalgia. And they're like, not yet. You're too early. But I was very impressed with how they kind of took the ideas of kind of the anxiety and what's going on in her life and changing and that kind of like idea of self. And they were like, no, get rid of that because we're pulling this in. Just like, I don't know. It's a very creative way to kind of deal with that kind of coming of age story or coming into high school story, whatever you want to call it. But very much enjoyed it. Love the characters. Love the voice acting. What was it? Maya Hawke, I think, did Anxiety from Stranger Things. That was very fun. Yeah, not much to say about it. Very good movie. I watched 3 seasons of Modern Family. That show's delightful and wonderful. It's hilarious. And yeah, there are points that
How
get
many-
a little too far, but there are 11 seasons of this show, Jared.
Oh my lord.
11 seasons. So
How far are you in?
I'm on season 7.
Okay.
So I've gotten pretty far, but still like
Yeah.
I'm only like barely past halfway.
Dude, I love Luke. Luke is one of my favorite
He's
characters.
him
Like,
growing.
Yes, when he gets older, I'm just like, I think you're secretly a genius and you're just playing people.
Well, just him with his dad is his dad. Like, all the characters on the series are
I
so
love
good.
Phil.
They're all so good. But and then I did today. My brain felt good enough. I started playing The Witcher again. So that's all I did. But mostly it was just me trying to chug NyQuil and watch Modern Family.
Did you get to the one where he threatens the other real estate agent?
Oh, I think there's a couple of those, but I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
In The Witcher? No.
The Witcher.
Say anything about my wife again, I'll kill you.
But good stuff. Yeah, that's all I did.
Nice. Thomas?
Bunch of random stuff. Started classes today, and the software is down for the first day of classes, so nobody could access their homework or anything. So that was fun. I actually got on a Teams call with my professor and the representative of the of the actual software. So I was helping them problem solve this thing. I'm like, I'm a student. Like, this is not in my pay grade. Like, can I get some compensation for this? But besides that, just watched a bunch of random things. But I also watched Creature Commandos, that cartoon that was written by James Gunn. Okay, so it was funny. It was very funny, but there's something like with James Gunn when he like gets the opportunity to have like adult characters, he kind of becomes like mean spirited, and you're all looking down right now, which I think is hilarious.
I'm seeing what this is. I've never heard of
Yeah, Johnny sent us a video
Of course you're looking at he kind of becomes like mean spirited, and I'm not a huge fan of that part. So, but it was pretty good. Um, we'll see how it goes. Not really 100% sure yet. Um, I did get some stuff in the mail though, which I think is kind of cool.
We're gonna go through your mail.
Well, no,
It's mail time. It's like Blue's Clues.
I got my
So,
taxes.
I got Berserk on Blu-ray, the 1997 series Berserk. So, like I still have like my illegal copy on my hard drive of this stuff that I had to like pirate. And then I got this because I had a gift card for Amazon. I was like, you know what? I like this enough. I'm going to buy it. So I got that. So on Blu-ray. So
Oh, it was like super close at first. I was like, oh,
sorry, the glare. My bad, the glare. And then I'm also watching Seinfeld. I'm going through that for some reason. I've never gone through all of Seinfeld, and yeah, it's pretty funny.
Form shows, not long form, but long season shows.
It's like it's like 8 or 9 seasons. I can't.
I think it's 9, if I remember. But.
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah. The first season's only like 6 episodes though, so it's not very big. I did watch some Unsubscribe, the podcast there, and they had on Habitual Line Crosser. He's this artillery officer in the United States Army, and he's really funny. It's very interesting. And besides that, I really didn't do too much else, to be honest with you. So that's all I got.
All right, Jared.
that was all the
just the
Delicious
anime
and Dungeon. Yeah,
delicious.
Was it delicious? Everyone says it's great. Maybe I should watch it someday.
Do it.
Okay, so I watched movies the whole week. I was sick. First one was Mother's Instinct over on Hulu. So this is
you and your shows. What is your theme going on right now?
Jessica Chastain and Anne Hathaway, and Anne Hathaway's son falls off the second story balcony thing and dies, and so this makes her real sad. And Jessica Chastain has a son who can't eat cookies because he can't have nuts. So he goes and he consoles Anne Hathaway. He's the only one that can kind of console her after her child has died. And to thank him, she puts her dead child's bunny into the casket. And so when everyone's viewing, when the kid comes to view the casket, he sees his bunny and he freaks out because he's like, that's my bunny. And he's like screaming, and they're like, oh, everyone's screaming. And Jessica Chastain's like, you did that on purpose. So this becomes an angry mom versus mom movie because Jessica Chastain just thinks this Anne Hathaway's out to get her and her child. And Anne Hathaway's like, I'm okay. I'm not doing anything bad. And then it ends all horribly wrong. So I have no idea who this movie's for. It feels like maybe a Lifetime movie, I guess. It feels like, I don't know. I just don't know what this movie. Angry Moms. Is there an angry mom genre out there? So then I switched to Tubi and watched a bunch of Tubi movies. So me and Jared Jonah a while back watched Dial M for Murder, really liked it, and found out that it was practically remade in the 90s called A Perfect Murder, starring Michael Douglas and Gwyneth Paltrow and a very young Viggo Mortensen. So wearing like 90s baggy clothes, it was weird. I was like, what the heck? And he's like an artist. So this movie started out making some very interesting changes to the original movie. First off, is they kind of merged two characters, and it was a pretty good idea because during the original movie, you're like, why is this guy always around? But it kind of made more sense in this newer one because you're like, oh, the crime is actually even worse if she gets caught. And then they made another little change to like there's a telephone call during the first movie that kind of bugged me because so she's like she answers the phone. He's like, "Hello, hello, hello," and then she gets like attacked, and like the phone is still on the whole time. And then after the attack, she's like, "Hello," and it's like and it's like, "Oh, it's me, the husband." And it's like, how did she not mention that to anyone that that he was on the phone that long? So that always bugged me. But they fixed that in this one, and then they took everything they fixed and they threw it in the toilet and then just watched it spin around because everything else makes no freaking sense because they catch Michael Douglas really fast. I mean, everyone, even her like girlfriend that she talks to at the cafe, she knows that he did it. She knows his motivation. So it was a weird. It's definitely not as good as the original. It was okay, but I thought they definitely downgraded from the original. And then I watched her Eyes of Laura Mars. So this is the movie, guys, that brought us The Empire Strikes Back. So this was Irving Kershner's first go out as a movie. And it's described as an American, those Italian slasher movies that everyone loves from the 70s. This is kind of an American version of that. And it was written by John Carpenter. So this movie is about a fashion photographer.
So it's just a slasher.
Yeah,
Because okay,
but
never
it's
mind.
done in the Italian style, Cherry. So
okay.
Like I spit on your grave.
Meatballs.
So
I know what it. I know, but like, it's just a slash.
but they're trying to do it in that Italian style.
Could be worse. It could be a French slasher. Those are terrible.
Those are all right. They're not too bad. My baguette.
So this one's about a fashion photographer who's controversial because she does violence and nudity at the same time. And then she starts seeing like visions of people getting murdered, and they kind of match up to her photographs. And Tommy Lee Jones comes and he's like, he's got hair and he's got makeup, and he's like, dude, how are you doing these pictures, lady? And she's like, I don't know. They just like kind of pop up there. And so it's about her, and it was okay. It wasn't a great movie. I can't see why. If like they said, George Lucas saw the first draft of this movie or the rough cut and's like, that's the guy who we need on Star Wars. I don't know why he saw that. I guess there was a couple scenes that were cool, but it wasn't a great movie. The ending was just like, they could have gone out a couple ways. They don't use the gimmick good enough, I think, of her being able to see like murders. They don't use that as well as they should have. So then I went to the classic Mazes and Monsters. So do you guys know what this one is?
Is this the Tom Hanks movie?
This is Tom Hanks's first ever movie.
No.
So in this movie, he plays a young college kid going to college, and he has a history with some D&D like game, and his parents drop him off, and then you do not play those D&D games, and he's like, I know, guys, I'm just going to college. First thing he does, he meets some D&D players, and they're looking for a fourth, and he's like, oh, I'm a level 9, and they're like, oh, a level 9, and so they're like, they have a good time. They go to a party. There's a guy who always wears hat. There's this guy who's like the best makeout guy ever, but girls are too afraid to date him because they know he's
So he
the
has
best
to kiss boys.
So they know, they're so afraid to date him because they know he's just the best makeout guy. So these four, and then the fourth is the girl is the mom from the Santa Claus, so she's there. So they have a good time. They plan their D&D, and then the Tom Hanks and the mom from Santa Claus get a little too close, and it kind of makes the guy that wears hats, he's kind of jealous because they're spending so much time. They're even starting to say, hey, we don't really want to play the game this week. We got plans. And he's just like, oh. So his plan, he's more sad than he's like, oh, my friends. So his plan is that he finds these caves under the college, and he's like, you know what we're going to do, guys? We're going to LARP. And so he takes them into the caves, and it's all scary, and they're all screaming because he's set up traps and stuff. But then they have a really good time. But then Tom Hanks, he see a jump scare. It scares him so much that it breaks his mind, and he gets it in his head that this thing is talking to him, and it tells him that he has to go on a quest, and he has to go find the Twin Towers. And so he walks to New York, and everyone's like, where did Tom Hanks go? And it turns out he walked all the way to New York. He's about to get mugged by some guys because they see his like little pouch, and they're like, hey, what's in that little pouch? And he's like, these are my spells, which I never leave my side. And they're like, get him. So he almost gets killed.
We need those spells.
So he runs and he hides out in the sewers in New York, and there's another guy. He meets a friendly hobo who's like, "Oh, I'll play on this D&D stuff," and he's like, "Yeah, there's a dragon up there."
So what you're telling me is that this is just basically the like prototype of Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Okay.
Where did Tom Hanks walk to or from?
They were in this little college town. And yeah,
College
so
town.
it ends up Tom Hanks ends up on the two towers.
Thomas Hanks.
And they gotta talk him down because he's about to jump, and they're like, "No, dude, you're one of your friends. You gotta stay with us." And then it flashes to like a couple months later, and everyone has given up on D&D. The hat guy, he goes to he's going to work on like CG for movies. So he probably works on the Lord of the Rings films. And then the guy who's the great makeout guy, he goes into business. And then the girl's going to write a book about D&D, I guess. So she doesn't really get away from it, but she's just going to write their story. So they go out and they go visit Tom Hanks, who's living with his parents. And they go out, and he's like sitting by the lake, and he turns to them and he's like, "My friends, there's a quest over here in the forest over here. Come with me." And the story's like, and we did, and we finished that last quest, and that was the end of the story.
Dear God.
I saw some clips from that and I wanted to watch it because it looked hilarious.
It would have been fun if you were there. It was on Tubi. And then probably the best movie I saw was Owning Mahoney. So this was Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he's a Canadian with a gambling problem. So
why did Philip Seymour Hoffman Michael was like accepting? At first he was like Mahoney.
I saw the thing about this recently.
Oh, you did? Yeah. It's a very low-key movie, but I liked it. I mean, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's just one of the best actors we had, and he was really good. And then I switched over to Michael Mann's first movie, Thief. I think it was 1980, right? And James Caan was there.
Hell yeah.
It's got a great music track from some, I think they're German band or something like that. It's got a very young Jim Belushi.
It's like that plasma torch.
Yeah, when they're like, they got to cut into a safe. He's a safe cracker, and they get this giant torch, and they're like, and then everything goes wrong, and it gets all bloody. I like Michael Mann's 80s stuff. That Manhunter is really good.
Manhunter is great. Like, okay, what's weird? I love the Red Dragon movie. Like, I really do. That movie's great. But Manhunter is also great. Like, it's so weird.
And then I watched Requiem of a Dream. So it's very dated. It's how do I describe this movie? That whole ending feels like a music video for 9 Inch Nails.
So now you have hope for Tron.
For Tron, yeah, because it got Jared Leto. The old lady, I can see why she was nominated for an Oscar because she outacts everyone in that movie. She's, I mean, they're not bad actors, but she outclasses them by a mile. And then and then the last thing I watched was Blow Up. So this is the counter culture classic from the 60s. It's an English movie. It's about this photographer who thinks he sees a murder. So that's about all I'm going to say, because it's hard to describe this movie because it sounds like that's what the movie's about, but it's not really what the movie's about at all. It's just kind of like what I took away from it was it's a movie about it's very about the 60s and like the crazy swinging 60s, I guess they call it, that was going on. And to me it's about how like that kind of ends and adulthood starts. That's kind of what I got from it. Because it's a weird movie. It's always on the top list of like best movies ever. So I don't know if if it was one of the best movies for me. But they said it inspired like the conversation, which I can really see because they're both kind of this got that same vibe to them.
I just
But
saw
yeah,
Jimmy Page was in it. Was he as himself or?
I don't know. I don't remember. Jimmy Page, because the Yardbirds were in it, right? And there is a band scene or a concert, like they go to a music um, concert. So he might have been in that part. But yeah, so that is what I watched, and then I just recently started playing the remake of Mafia from I think it was a PlayStation 2 game, but it looks good. It looks great. It's not as good
Oh.
as like LA Noir, but it's more because
Good?
yeah, not as good.
LA Noir is good.
Yes, LA Noir is
You like
better
LA
than
Noir?
It's all right. Just not. It's kind of broken. Just down.
Well, I
They're
played
pressed down. Where the f- is it?
I played the remake of it, so I might have.
Oh, okay. Okay. I haven't played the remake because I bought it. I was just like, why did I buy that? Because I remember when I bought it on 360, I was just like, I had so much hope for it, and then it got no.
Yeah, the version I played was great. This
Okay.
one is very similar, where it looks like it's going to be open world, but you can't really do anything in the open world. It's more like levels.
Yeah, I've
And
never played the first Mafia. So.
I don't like the stealth. I just think I'm too like impatient now that I'm older for the stealth parts. So I'm just like, just shoot everyone and get through this. I don't want to do this. Um, but yeah, I'm almost done with it. I think so. I'll let you guys know. But that's all I did.
I did start playing Yakuza 0, and it's pretty great.
Yeah, I played that
I've
one.
I've never really enjoyed a Yakuza game, and this one is, yeah, this one's pretty awesome. Mostly because I wanted to play because I was missing Tokyo, and I was just like, yeah, this is kind of like Tokyo. It's kind of cool and going to all these spots. But
I'm also reading Winds in Truth, I think it's called. This is Brandon Sanderson's latest
oh, the
one.
new one,
Yeah, so I'm 10
That's
chapters in, so I'll
5,
see you
right?
next year.
That's 5, right?
Yeah, I think they're on
Dang, he's
5.
halfway done.
I was Christmas shopping and I went into Barnes and Noble and I saw this book because I've always read them digitally. I've never read them like physically. And I saw the book and I was, dang, this thing is huge. It's like,
Dude,
And they're like, "Sir, please calm down."
I'm like, no, this is huge.
my
I gotta
cousin,
read
like
this.
when he wanted me to start reading them, he's like, here, take these, and he gave me like all like the first 3. I'm just like, is this like a compendium of like what is this? He's like, that's the series. He's like, there's only 3 right now. I'm like, what?
That's the intro.
Does he like?
Right.
Does he have people do the other drafts? Like, how does he write more books?
I don't know.
Like, is it just
That
first
dude's-
draft go? I don't. That's insane.
That dude's not human. Like I
I
used to
guess
think,
that's all he does all day is just like.
but the thing is, it's not though. He has so many other side projects though, because he like helps write video games. He does like consulting on like tabletop stuff. I mean, he's a and he teaches classes. Like,
Oh, that's true. He does.
how does he do that? Like,
He's like light in that one scene where he's like writing all those pages.
One shit.
seems like it. I used to think Stephen King was like a fast writer, but I'm like, you got nothing on Sanderson, so
Bananas.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm only on chapter 10, so I'll see you guys probably next year for the actual conclusion.
I still haven't finished the 4th one.
Man, you can't get behind.
I
You're
still
gonna get
haven't
2
finished.
books behind.
I know.
I still haven't started the second one.
Second one. Okay, the first one was good, but my God, it took forever to get to that ending. The second one has a lot more going for it. Like,
I
there's a lot more
remember-
action.
The last one was probably the weakest, in my opinion.
Fourth one,
Yeah.
it's taken me a while to get through this one.
This one's starting okay. I have heard there's some concerns about it, but I don't want to watch videos until I finish it, so I'll probably have to wait a long time, but we'll see.
I think the second one's probably my favorite so far.
Second
This-
one's good, yeah. All right. So that's all I did. You guys ain't got any last words that you want to say? Any predictions?
That Wild Robot comes on Peacock in like a couple weeks.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, it's finally gonna watch that. I was excited.
They say Severance is really good.
What is that? The 28th or something like that? 20th?
It's something, yeah.
Summit or other.
This third season?
2.
Second.
Second. Okay. Really? It's only the second season?
Yep.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
So
cool.
tell us what you guys are excited for. Give us some suggestions to watch, and we'll try to check them out. And
Hopefully, we're not all dead yet.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff. And we will see you next time. Bye.